Hello guys, another round of Super Coach, another fun and interesting round. As you can see by the ranks, I went up, which is good. Team values at 11.3, or basically 11.4. Got 30k in the bank, so it's, yeah, 11.4, so it's not bad value. I am a bit behind the curve because, as we can, I'll discuss a little bit in the video about some picks I've missed, some reflection for the start of the year, and yeah, it wasn't overall a bad round. I had a bit of a drop in round rank, but it's mainly about season ranking. Upwards is always better than downwards, but especially around this time, I think people have always said by round 10 you really want to be in the top 5%, and by the buys, if you're not in the top like 1 to 2%, you're practically out of it for the number one spot. So if you I'm trying to get to top 1 to top 2% before the buys. That's my goal. That's where I want to finish off. I think at the moment I can be top 1%. Obviously, if anyone else is looking at the situation, them as well. I'm probably about 400 points behind now, so I'm really gonna have to start shortening that gap. Luckily, I have about 7 to 8 rounds, but I'm just gonna start doing it. Number one place is on about 9,200, so it's a big way to go. But it is a big season, and yeah, who knows? There could be some picks. And now this is the part in Supercoach which gets a little bit interesting, a little bit fun. I'm in a situation right now where it's just there's been some injuries, and as you know, with my team, obviously a lot of people have had the cop gone and all that, but we've now got Doherty there, and from my history, you'll know, I've had Darcy Cameron, Doherty, Steele, and who's the other guy? Steele and Stewart. So it hinders my trades. Like this week, I was just gonna do Jones to JVR. I always said to myself, I only want to do one trade this week. I only want to do one, and because of this injury, I am gonna stick true to my gut, and I'm only gonna do one. But it means I'll have to bring out my injured Doherty, and as you know, what I reflected on, I'm starting to fall behind in the cash game, so I'm gonna have to make some plays. But first of all, I'll get over to what my strategy is and guess a little reflection on this round. Yeah, one thing saving my season this year is my captain scores. So I've taken Clayton Oliver for these three captains. I took him for here, here, and here, which averages out at 134. And now I've taken Nick Dacos at 151. It worked out, so roughly comes up to, I think, it was 139. So at the moment, I've been having a score. I've captained 139 average, so getting about 270 points a week. So my captains this year have been on a point. I've learned from my thing last time, and obviously it's a bit of luck with captains and all that. But I learned from my mistakes of last time. Stick true to your guns. Don't try that. When I had it last time, I was picking little weird picks. Like I was putting the VC on Tom Stewart, then the C on Dunkley, trying to be special and find a little sneaky one. But just back your guns in. I can't stress this enough. Just back the big boys. Don't don't play around with like, oh, Setterfield might have a good week. I'll go him. He's got a Mickey Mouse matchup, or everyone's talking about Sean Darcy versus Ned Moyal, but I don't. I still don't believe in that crap. Like sometimes, as much as a player can have a Mickey Mouse matchup, it still doesn't make him a good captain option because I think the best captain options come from players who are genuinely in the hunt to be the best. Like Dacos, Clary, Bontempelli. These three strike me as the players that are in it to win it this year. They either want it for their team, they either want a Brownlow, and when I put the captain and VC on them, unless injury or something very obscure pops up, I back these guys to at least put in the best effort, and that's all you can ask for your rookie shot sometimes. So also, I see some people chucking up cheese or VC. I'm like, just don't be silly. If you have these three, or even like who's another player? Don't Took Miller. He probably goes really hard. Here Dawson, I think, is going hard for his team at the moment. I wish I had Dawson, but oh well. We can wish and wish all we want. It's a game of Supercoach. Supercoach is like 80% skill. Oh, I'd say 90% skill. There's a lot of work that goes into your team and all that. And then it's just a facet of luck. Like, who could predict Doherty's done a knee? Steele, no, Tom Stewart would do a knee. Gorn would do a knee. Like, Darcy, and who's the other guys now? Darcy Cameron, and who I also had, and Toby Nankervis. Like, these players are dropping like flies, and Will Day's got a 2 week suspension. Like, you just can't predict this stuff as a super coach player. So I guess not to always bite yourself and get worked up. It's a lot of skill, yes. There's teams, there's strategy, there's building, but there's a facet of luck in this game, and you could. Some people have had soft runs, some people have had injury runs. I know someone who's copped Sam Doherty and like all the players I have and gone. That's only and gone. And Wits is now in. Wits is sore as well. So yeah, there's a lot of people in this boat, and it's just about now trying to figure out a way to get out of it, because there are some people in the comp who aren't in this boat, and if you keep trying to play their game, you're not going to beat them. So we need to figure out a way to beat their game. Of course, as I said, so captains, VC, probably rambled about that a bit too much. Now, I could give a review of these players, but I think you guys have a rough enough estimate from other YouTubers and all that. That's fine. I'm going to try and be a little bit different, and I'm going to start talking about strategy. So, let's have an example. Let's look at the rankings, and let's look at the number one team at the moment. If it wants to load. Here we go. So, about 700 points behind them. Look who they got. They've got Dawson, Dacos, Baker. Will Dave's now suspended. Mizza, Cohen, or Wagner. And Clary, Laird, Bont. Jordan Go's been a nice pickup for him. Philippou, Ashcroft. So he's got Philippou here instead of McKenzie, which he isn't making much points on us. I think the most damage is the fact that these primos here. Like, he hasn't copped a Doherty or a Stewart, or even Liam Baker's averaging more for Sicily and made 70k while at it. Let's look at his forward line. Dunkley, Taranto, Zeeble, Sheasel, Chandler, and yeah, so you see where he's made up the points here, and Dacos, no, Grundy in English. So he's hit his primos really well. And in Supercoach, you always want to do corrections and pick the best players, but chasing points is fine as long as it stops a leak. In a situation like this where there's an injury and there's not even going to be a leak, there's just a hole at this point. If I did a trade right now and I'd have to do a second trade and that breaks my thing just to get Dawson, cool. I'll get Dawson, and I believe Dawson is a top 3 defender. But in the time Dawson's made 15k, Sam Doherty has, where is he? Lost 78k. So unless that's probably about nearly a 90k difference. Unless I believe I'm fixing a leak, like let's say for a different player of about, if I'm fixing a leak between 15 to 20 points on field every single week, then yes, that is more than justified. But I genuinely, he's injured now, and if I just concede and bring in someone else somewhere around here, people I don't really like, and options that just don't suit me. So I thought to myself, I'm actually going to make a bit of a weird play this week, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to move Constable up here, pick between the two who score best, field Jones one more week, and then bring up Goulden, and start getting some more cash check, because our rookie options are becoming really dire. Like Sam Sturt's on the way, but he's a game away, and I don't know if Dylan Williams gets another one, so I genuinely believe this is our last chance to get a rookie in. And his job security isn't even really that good. Like, there's Michael Lanny and Tyler Young, but we've kind of missed the boat on those guys. So, and I don't like picking rookies I missed the boat on. So, to go finish it off with, what I'm thinking about doing now is, back to track. Just doing this trade. I only want to do one trade this week. I wanted to get rid of Liam Jones. We're going to have to take Liam Jones and keep the 417k. Now you might be thinking, why the hell are you doing that trade? And that's purely because next week we are going to have some nice options. So and this is all banking, I might change it if Gimby doesn't play, or McKenzie or someone like that, then I will change it. But next week I'm probably want to get rid of Setterfield, Gimby, either Jones or McKenzie. I've got 4 trade out options here. The shittest 3 are gonna go. The shittest 3 are out of my team. Maybe even a Wilmot or Cohen. Looking at 100k people, and I want to start upgrading. I want to do big upgrades. I could do a mini one this week, but it's a defeated one. It's not even an upgrade because I have to sideways Sam Doherty, and it's a sideways, and I've sideways and sideways and sideways, and at this point, no, I've picked up Dacos while sideways, and I've picked up Zeeble while sideways, and like there's just a point where I've got to put my hand up and say stop. I'm just gonna be playing chasey the whole league, and I'm not gonna find a way to get up. I might just make my season a bit worse. Oh well, it's a fun game. I think if I can try and break the lines, and if it works, it will work out hopefully well. Now, there's to the strategy. So let's say theoretically Gimby goes up another 15k. He's made 120k for us. Cool, and they say we're gonna rest him. So now I've got 699k. Most likely Dawson's going to go up money, so I'll have to wait for him. But the one thing holding me off Dawson as well is I'm banking on him not paying too much. He's going to have a low break even because of his score, but he has Carlton and Hawthorn the next two. And Carlton apparently rumoured Ed Kerno will try and run with him. Not a heavy tag, but like a light one. Especially because he's their most damaging player now. Like, Led can get the ball, but Dawson can distribute it like a madman. Like, I think he had 92% efficiency and 700 meters gained. If there's anyone that's going to ruin your year, it's going to be versus Dawson. So it'd be silly if they didn't put Ed Kerner with him and Finn McGuinness with him. So bank it on two tags here. And Carlton's been the hardest team for Miz to score against as well. So if I brought him in and he still averaged 110, that would be okay. But then I wouldn't be beating any of these top players who already own him. I've just, put the hands up and said, oh, I'm with you now. I'm just going to hope Mackenzie scores more than Philippou, which probably even won't happen. So that option's out the window. Can't be playing chasey. Now, want to look at some cash and some pods. My first one of interest is Jack Sinclair. Collingwood have really, really restricted defenders this year. Their movement is really in their hands. They've got some good flow, and since he had that bad game, Sinclair, he's gonna drop in price. So he's got 150 break even. That score leads his thing next week. So once he drops in price, that's probably the cheapest he'll get. And they say he's gonna score 104, and he drops 22k. Cool. So I'll be getting him for 70k cheaper, and that pretty much maxes. Oh, that pretty much maxes Sam Dockey's output. I could bring Jack Sinclair in this week, but then there's no point because I'm still conceding a 20k loss. And if I believe I can match the points, like if I can match points, even taking the risk this week, then it matters. Oh, it doesn't matter. Now, if like a Jones goes 20 and Gimby goes 30, then obviously this is a stupid move. But I'm banking on Gimby doing another 60-70 and Jones doing a 50-60, and not bleeding too much points and making the money worth it. So yeah, that's my plan. So Jack Sinclair is my first on my target list. I believe he's a top 6 average this year. He's starting to warm up into the season. I like his gameplay, and I hopefully get him for a bit cheaper. And the other one I'm looking at is I'll just have to. Was there any others in defenders? No, I think that's it. I think Tom Stewart will need to come back in at the moment. He's gonna have a bit of a funky break even at the moment, so I'll wait on it. Sinclair I also believe is top 6, and so Sinclair and Tom Stewart want to get in sometime for value. So these two will be the first ones to come in because they'll be the cheapest. Dawson and Sard, I think they're top 6 as well, but like I've said before, when I'm finishing my team, I can bring him in. But right now, when I'm trying to chase a bit of value or try and get a one-up on these other guys, it's just point chasing at the moment. So these two are more than likely top 6. Like these, except Luke Ryan. I don't think Luke Ryan's top 6. No offense, he's playing well, but I expect regression. I can look like a fool, but we'll see. Fremantle's game style is going to have to change soon. They're not winning. They'll move some magnets around, and he won't get that cheap roll. So yeah, that's my plan. So probably bring in Sinclair or Stewart. Most likely Sinclair because he's lost a bit more money, and he's more likely to be top 6. And he actually played 22 games all year, unlike Stewart. And yeah, next player. Let's say I trade out Setterfield next week, have a crap ton of cash. The first upgrade targets I'm looking at, it's probably Took Miller. He's going to get the Ash tag this week. Probably, like they say, score only 117, 4k. It's only going to be like 40k cheaper, but then have a look at these next ones. North Melbourne, Richmond. Melbourne's a bit hard. Then he's got West Coast. Bit of a harder one again, these two. But he usually goes hard at the Queensland clash, so it's not even that hard of a matchup for him. And yeah, he's got nice two for the next ones. So I do love and yeah, last year he scored 167 on him. So, woo, I like the look it took. So that's my two to Sinclair and Took, and anyone else in the midfield I'm looking at. Cheap cheats. And you can see my theory here. I'm not looking at players that are going up or anyone that I've missed a boat on. Oh, and here's another big one. Rory led 163 break even, negative 23k. He will match Sam Doherty's loss. Okay, I'm not conceding anything there. I'm swapping for someone who should theoretically average more. So, with that. Although he's averaging 102, the 102 isn't relevant for me. It only matters from what he averages when I bring him on. And that first game he had was a shocker, and it just tarnished his average. And people are going to look at it like, oh my god, do I bring him in? But no, if he gets back to the way he was playing last year, he will be a nice pickup. And he's got Hawthorn and Collingwood next, and he done lots of tackles on him. So there is Laird I want to buy. There's Took Miller I want to buy. Sam Walsh I'm also interested in. We'll see how he plays and see what role he gets, but he's also someone I'm interested in. I'm not... And there's players here like Petrarca and McRae. I don't know where they are. I don't think their roles are as good, so pass on them. Merritt I'm also interested in. He's come up cheap. Brayshaw, give Brayshaw another week, but what's his break even? 124 against goal. Now he might score it, but he's also cheap. And then the last set of cheaps I'm gonna have a look at. I think the big one here is I think Haney's cooked. Like last year he was so dominant, but we could if he turns his form around at 400k, we'll love it. But yeah, he started off really well last year and just went. Oh no, he finished well as well. I don't know what's happened to Heaney. Probably just a different team, different play. Bit of a shame. Spud is here as well. Jeremy Cameron's an interesting one. He's been playing really well, and as a Geelong supporter, we haven't had the best year, but he's put his heart on his soul every single game, and we probably don't win a game without him this year. So you'd hope he plays his best every game. He's probably in the lead for he's in the lead for the Coleman, and I think he's probably top 3 in the Brownlow at the moment. Between him, Dacos, and Clayton Oliver, I think will be top 3. So that would be interesting to see who gets it this year. It'd be cool to see a full forward win it, but he'd take a lot of goals and a lot of impact to be there. So let's hope. The other big one is Cornelio, 167 break even. He's got a nice matchup this week, but let's say what they predict him scoring a 98, which means they predict him to go 100. He still loses 31k. Once again, that puts him in 70k in that Sam Doherty range. So, yeah. Hopefully that kind of gives you mindset into my strategy. That's why I'm just going to stay cash up this week. Only do one trade, save my boost, just get some cash, just concede these primos, because if I bring him one in this week for some points, and I might save 50 points this week, but then I'm just going to tarnish my cash gen later. And I need Jason Van Ruin, and I don't like any of the primos right now for their price. Sam Doherty I've taken the L on, but I'm happy to lose 20 to 30 points this week in the future of maybe saving 100 grand essentially, especially if Gimby makes another 15, and if Gimby can make another 15 to 20 and Sinclair loses another 40 to 60, or Laird loses another 50 to 60, I might have saved anywhere between 80 to 90k. So it's mainly, this is the discussion I got to have. Obviously I don't know who's getting named. If Gimby doesn't get named, that changes up my plan, but that's my main idea at the moment. I really want to find some value in this game. I really want to try and make some risky plays, and I guess one more thing that's making me hold Jones for one more week, this is the last part, is the Supercoach DPP has got released, but since it's behind a paywall, someone really lovely on a Discord server named, I just want to say, I'll say his name, Asian Invasion, has given us the list for all the DPP changes. So we got Sheezel and Zeeble, And there's Day, Whitfield, Baz, Adams, Keys, Wilmot. Unlikely. Now the three that strike relevance for me might be different for everyone else. McRae would be nice if he gets if he plays like another 4% forward, then he's gonna be a good price. So let's hope. Let's hope. Um, Sheasel and Zeeble. Now I have some good rookies in the forward line. I also have some players here. Like I want to swing Goulden back, and if Cornelio ends up really cheap, I want to bring Cornelio in straight away. So then that fills up two spots here, and I'm like, okay, who do I trade out? Well, I won't need to trade anyone out. I've said already the players I want to trade out, and I've got like three here. I've got Gimby, Jones, and Wilmot. Now, whichever ones are probably looking like their cash gen's dead or they're not playing, they're not going to be playing on 22 this year. Then I'll hit trade, and then I'll swing these two up. Now, let's say two of them are pretty good and only one's bad. Then obviously I'll do one here and one there. But this DPP changes. You just gotta be careful of it. It brings a lot of options because although you'd probably want Zeeble in the forward line because defenders are averaging way better than our forwards, and you would rather have a 98 here than a 98 there. But if it gets you to swap rookies around and do upgrades, it's really helpful. So I am just doing this trade this week. I'm leaving Jones purely because I want to see one more week of him, and I need to cop one more score from him. Bit frustrating, but Doherty's twisted my arm, and yeah, next week 417k. Setterfield will be 800,000. Gimby will be put me at 1,080,000. And then obviously one of these other guys, maybe Jones or Wilmot, and that's 1.2. Hopefully bring in Dylan Williams or Sam Sturt, and then yeah, the rest can be a 500k, probably Cornelio or Sinclair, and then a 600k Took or Laird. So that's my game plan this week. Hopefully it doesn't alter when the team announcements get made out, but concede a little bit of points this round, and hopefully pick up some big bargains next round and solidify cash gen with Jason Van Ruin. So that's a bit of my game plan. Don't take mine as advice. Everyone's got their own teams and their own strategies. This is just my way of saying I want to have a go. I want to have a shot at trying to get back into the top 1k. The way I'm going to do is play a little bit different. So playing for cash, looking for discounts in the next 2 to 4 or next 1 to 5 rounds, and yeah, hoping to strike lucky. And let's hope this week. This week is the week I don't cop an injury. Crossing my fingers. We can get it, and I wish you boys all the best of luck. If you have any questions or thinking of the same strategy as me or trade or planning what you're gonna do for upgrade season, please go ahead and tell me in the comments. I'd love to read it. And yeah, good luck for this round and have a lovely day, boys. Peace.